So as I was saying before, shark skin.
Shark skin.
It's got this like weird pattern to it, so that everything like the water stays on it to make it go
Okay.
faster instead of just like shooting off. So I don't know. I've seen people talk about using it in
So you want to make
cars.
like a race car shark
Yeah,
skin?
but with like
Like,
shark
okay.
skin, and it'd be a faster car.
Hmm.
Maybe I don't know. I've just seen some stuff
Talking like
about it.
agility, like aerodynamics,
You
or
just
just speed,
yeah.
just
It would give you
straight,
you
just
would be
go.
faster because
Interesting.
there's less drag on it.
Hmm.
I don't know. I like sharks. Do you
There's
see
no
any
way that's very
sharks?
heavy either.
You
That
were
could be
just in
good.
a place where you could have seen sharks. Do you see any sharks?
I don't know.
I
I
have
mean, there
yet
could
to
have been
see a
sharks there,
shark in
but
the
I haven't like
wild.
seen one.
I've been in the ocean many times and I've never seen a shark.
I've been places where people are saying they've seen a shark,
I
but
think
if
they're
they've
lying.
actually seen a
I
shark
don't
is
know.
debatable.
Well, there's no connection for
No, there's
today.
not.
I can't
No.
think of a single thing that
You
could
just
do it.
really wanted to say shark skin.
Today's topic is trials.
Yep.
Trials, the things that we don't like to go through,
Mm.
but we're going to look at why we should
Yeah.
kind of
Should
like
man up.
them. You know, maybe not be like, I can't wait, give me trials for my birthday.
Yeah, I mean, it's
But
not like going to a favorite candy store, but
I
I mean,
mean, it brings valuable things,
mm.
you know. So we're gonna get into it. I just think like it's easy for people to like when you're not in trials to say like, oh yeah, I'm gonna turn to God when I go through trials, or I'm gonna do what I need to do, or rely on Him, or whatever it is,
Yeah,
whatever it
it
looks
tends to
like.
be easier to speak than to do.
Yeah. Very few people, not a lot of us, are actually turned to God in trials. At least not at first. Some
Mm.
not at all, which would suck. Sorry for you.
No, maybe not to the extent you should.
Yeah. So trials, and probably my favorite verse on trials, and probably one that sparked. Probably in most people, you read it, and it's a big spark on a different viewpoint on trials. Is James 1 verses 2 through 4, which is consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Let perseverance finish its work so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything. This is really cool. It's just like, I pray all the time to be closer to God, to love God more, to, I don't know, be more, to, for Him to be able to use me more, just for this better relationship. I want to be closer to God.
Yeah.
But it's almost like here it's telling me that it's the trials that are going to give me the more intimate relationship with God.
Mm.
So if
Yeah.
it's if trials are the thing,
Like taking the test after studying. Like you
kind of
kind of
yeah.
put it to the test, see what you're
Yeah.
gonna do.
Yeah. And it's like James is saying that this is testing your faith. It's producing this perseverance, and then the perseverance will make you mature and complete, not lacking anything. And most of what we're missing is our relation with God and Him in our lives. So this is saying you're gonna be closer with Him. He's gonna be able to use you more. All the things you're gonna love Him more. You're gonna be able to be used by Him more. You're gonna all the things I was just saying
Yeah.
that most of us are trying to seek, want to have feel more peace with Him. This is where it happens. You know, um, but it's not something that we would like to choose on our own.
No, not many people are gonna walk through the fire if they don't got to,
Yeah,
Not something they're gonna do yourself.
the only situation I can really think of off the top of my head where somebody would suffer for a an after goal is in some sort of like sports or like lifting.
Mm.
Like, cause it's not fun to do Bulgarian split squats. They suck.
You can say working. No one wants to work. People want the money.
Sure.
Same thing. There's a lot of
Yeah,
things
most
work
people
like that.
don't want to work, but you
Most things
do
that
it.
yield results you don't really want to do.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think maybe because maybe that's an interesting way to look at it. If so many things around us require that, nobody wants more on the top of that.
Mm.
It's like if those are things that are going to happen for your life anyways, why have more things in my way? It's a very simple way to put it, but I feel like it's kind of how most brains work.
Yeah.
It's like, why would I want to? Why would I want it to suck more?
Yeah, I mean, you got to live with yourself in the moment. I mean, you can that could be something too. It's like you don't see the future, right?
Mm,
It's like it's just gonna end up coming, and it's gonna be the present once you get there. But it's like you're all about right now.
yeah.
Dopamine responses, you know.
And I mean, to be honest, you don't know if what you're going through is gonna be useful in the future.
Yeah, that's true too. I mean, you
You
really
know,
don't know anything
in the
about.
moment, you're
Yeah.
just seeing it as, this is in my way.
Mm-hmm.
This kind of isn't optimal. So you're not
You can
you're not
probably
happy
get
about
through
it.
it. Yeah.
Now that's a good, interesting kind of segue into the next thing, and we're talking about Paul and Silas in Acts 16, and the verse I'm going to read is Acts 16:25, and kind of the right before this, Paul and Silas are like rounded up, they're like beaten with rods, and then thrown in prison. And verse 25 of Acts 16 says, "But at midnight, Paul and Silas were praying and singing hymns to God."
Mm.
You know, we were just saying, you never know if this is going to be used, if it's going to be useful later on.
Yeah.
But in this trial, in the middle of it, they're singing to God. And a commentary I was reading made that point. It wasn't just singing hymns about God. It was singing hymns to God. They weren't just reciting something that they had learned and memorized. They were actively worshiping God in this moment. And so maybe that's the thing. And there's more to this point that I'll get to in a second, but maybe that's the thing, and it's like, if we're always worshiping him, if we're focused on him, maybe that's where the trials, the bad things can turn for his good, for his glory, our good.
Yeah.
You know, maybe if, like if they weren't worshiping, if they weren't looking for God, I can't say that this story would happen the same way, you know.
Yeah.
So it's interesting that, like we said before in the beginning, it's hard for us to actually turn to God when we're facing trials. But this is a great example of people doing that.
Mm.
And I mean, getting beat and thrown into a dark prison sucks. It doesn't sound or look fun. Been easy for them to be full of hate in this situation, to the people beating
Yeah.
them,
Yeah.
to the prison guards, even to God, because they're trying to do his work, yet they're facing this, obstacle. And I mean, it's crazy because most people rage out when somebody cuts them off in traffic. So imagine people are going through a road rage episode because of a bad
Mm.
driver,
Yep.
versus these guys are getting beat and thrown in prison unjustly for doing the Lord's work.
Yeah.
You think you have a reason to be mad at the dude that cut you off. Like, these guys have a
Yeah.
reason.
It's like, yeah, buddy, put the bird down.
Yeah. But they trusted that God was in control, and God
Mhm.
has used that story in their lives, right? To strengthen their relationship, because what happens, the Lord opens the prison up.
Mhm.
Um, but not only has he done that, he's used this story to encourage and to minister into the lives of millions of people throughout history. So, I just think, like, imagine the other side of the trials that we're actively in or even refusing to face could be the things we're longing for, and the blessings for the people around us, but we never trust God enough, or look for him enough, or turn to him enough, that these things are getting delayed or they're not happening. I just think that that'd be a crazy loss,
Yeah.
you know?
It's interesting. I mean, look at more extreme examples like that. I mean, non ones too, but stuff like that. I think extreme, like prison or, I don't know, like someone in your family dies or gets murdered or something crazy. If like things like that, extreme things normally going to yield extreme results, right?
Mm,
And I know in that situation, it was obviously a positive extreme, right? Going to God.
mm,
And it could have been like what a lot of people do is like they get that and it's like, well, the world sucks, everything's against me, and the negative extreme.
mm.
Big. It's a big difference, and it's
Yeah,
I'd say
and
the two most likely for those situations.
I want to point out, go back up to James when he says whenever you face trials of many kinds. So it's
Yeah.
like, a trial could be, I mean, that's a big kind of gray area of what a trial could be. I kind of think of it just like something difficult to do that could make it easier to do something you shouldn't, or to revert back to old ways, or Um, just something that's just demanding, whether that's physically demanding or
Something to
spiritually
overcome.
or yeah, it's an obstacle in the way. And sometimes a lot of things that happen in this earth, in this world we live in, aren't things God wants to happen. Um, so then my mind on that is if he doesn't want them to happen, right? They don't mess with his plan, but he's loving and he's going to allow your free will, so they're going to happen. They don't ruin his plan, but he doesn't want them to necessarily happen, right?
Yeah.
It's like if we're going to face these things, why not make something out of them? So maybe this isn't a trial that God's like, I want to put them through this trial so I can use them more later. It could just be a trial of life.
Yeah.
That doesn't necessarily have this big, huge thing, but you can still turn to God through that, and that strengthens you. So
Yeah.
now it is made into something,
You can find purpose through any trial.
and it's possible that his plan involves like he's in his eyes all of these things are big deal and it's not just like this, but at least I feel like this should be the mindset we have to it. um when you go through something difficult, like I don't know, like I tell you, I don't know if you remember me saying this, but I always say like if car issues or stuff is it's a chance for me to practice staying calm so that when I have kids I don't freak out around them.
Yeah.
Like
Be a good example.
it's an opportunity for me to practice in a a situation where I could blow up or get heated. I can practice not doing that, and then hopefully in the future, the goal of that would be for it to be like that. Yeah, build that pattern up. And so, I don't think that James is telling us to like necessarily long for trials or to be, I don't know, like ecstatic about them, but you could be excited for the result. I think that's the thing. And
Yeah.
he's looking at
You're looking at it
what they
like an
bring.
opportunity
Yeah.
instead of just something that's keeping you down.
Yeah. So, and like a lot of things in life, it's and in scripture, looking at things, it's the personal heart posture you hold towards situations that really make a big difference.
Yeah.
What's your heart posture behind it? Uh, but yeah, and I just think, going back to this Silas point, it's like without trials that seem impossible, um, how are we going to see God's power? Like without a situation where you got the Red Sea to one side, and then on your backs is an army, Pharaoh's army coming at you, and you're stuck. Without a trial like that, you're never going to have the Red Sea party and this beautiful story that has encouraged so many people.
Yeah.
You know, without any sort of testing, like David is tested and it goes through trials when he's shepherding, like he's got to face this bear and this lion. Like that would be more physically demanding than like a mental one. Like he's got to face these things, and because he went through that, he trusted God through that. God strengthened him, and now he's got confidence in the Lord to go against Goliath.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and so we see some of these big stories of people doing big things, and I wonder how many little trials God put them through before that
Yeah.
to prep them for it. And maybe we don't look at some of those.
Yeah.
And maybe we should. Maybe we should think about it as, it's a part of it. It's a good part of it.
Kind of makes me think of like superhero movies, right? Someone's got like a new superhero movie, new guy, no one's ever heard of you. It's not gonna be first scenes you doing something crazy cool.
Mm,
You gotta build some confidence, go through some things. Maybe your powers barely work or something. I don't know, but
yeah,
you're not gonna be the best from the first scene.
sure. When you say that, I think of like the Amazing Spider-Man with Andrew Garfield, and he's got this scene where he's in this warehouse and he's like swinging on chains and he's like doing crazy stuff with his skateboard. He's like getting comfortable with these new powers.
Yeah, the montage, man. It's in every
And
movie.
yeah, you kind of got to work up to it a little bit, but
You're not gonna be born the best.
yeah,
You're not all that, bro.
yeah. You know, I'll think of it as like lifting. It's like I have to increase my weight, but I have to slowly build up to a big feat. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Eddie Hall was the first man to ever lift over 1,000 pounds off the ground. He didn't do that first try. He had to train
Yeah, it was the
and go
third
through
try.
all these things that sucked. That wasn't fun. This, eating regimen and all these training things, like it sucked. But then you're able to do that, and that
Yeah.
was the big accomplishment, right? So
Wouldn't it be an accomplishment if it was easy?
if we look at something like that as worth doing, as looking at lifting 1,000 pounds as an important thing,
Mm.
maybe we should look at getting closer to God as important too. It's my
Some people
thought.
would debate if that
It's my
first thing's
thought.
important, but we get your
I
point. Your
Yeah.
point's been made.
People do stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
have a David Goggins or people setting world records, and it's like we do these things and we train and we suffer for them, for their result, but then we're very slow to suffer
Yeah.
and go through trials for God to be closer to Him.
Because it's not about you at that point. It's all about when you're
Exactly.
doing that, running the Olympics or something. It's all about
You're
I'm gonna
getting
give me
glory.
that gold medal.
Yeah.
Now it's no. Someone who actually did something was like, no, that's not me.
Mm-hmm.
I did a fraction of what you've done. Give me some medals.
Uh, Next verse I want to look at a little bit is Philippians 4:6-7. And this just says, "Don't be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. And the peace of God that transcends all understanding will guard your hearts and minds in Christ Jesus." Um, like we get anxious and scared about anything, and in all sorts of situations, and the world doesn't go our way, and sometimes it even seems to be attacking us.
Yeah, it's kind of weird considering all our food's like 5 minutes away in like a
Mhm,
store. It's like,
sure,
what do we got to be anxious about?
yeah,
We make a big deal out of a lot of not very crazy things.
that's fair.
We don't really do much, like, at all
Yeah,
anymore. We're just kind of here.
yeah. Our
Everything's
lives are
pre-done for us.
they're very catered to
Yeah,
just kind of an
just
easy day.
make
But
money, spend money, and that's your life. But anyway,
so many people are quick to just really feel like they're just under attack and they're
yeah,
just anxious all the time. They got this going on, they got that going on. I got these bills, I got to go see this person. This is a hard conversation I have to go have. Oh, my boss is yelling at me. And they got all these things and they're feeling under attack. And God literally gives us the steps here in Philippians. He's like, with prayer and petition, he's like, bring me every situation. And he says that he will give you the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and minds. And, I was talking to you. I love to point out that it says he's going to guard your hearts and minds. It doesn't say, bring your petition to him and your grumbling and your anxiousness, and I'll take you out of it because you don't need to deal with that. I feel like that goes back to it. It's like God can use trials, just like James is like, count it all joy because these trials will complete you. God's saying here, he's like, when you're anxious, when these things happen, come to me. I will help you through it because you need to go through it. It's
hmm
good, but I'm still going to help you through it because I'm your dad and I love you.
yeah. I think it's
You know?
interesting it uses the word petition there too. It's like it's not just like you open arms and be like, yay, hardship. It's
Mm-hmm.
like, well, petitions, like, I don't really know why we're doing this. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
what's going on? I don't understand. It's like, yeah, like he acknowledges you're not going to understand, but you need
Sure.
it.
And that's the other thing too is that I feel like this might not be perfect, but I imagine like Jesus um, in the garden, like saying, Father, like if possible, take this cup from me, but not my will, your will.
Mm-hmm.
So like he's petitioning for a different way, for to not have to go through this trial,
Mm-hmm.
this thing that's going to suck, but it's going to produce the salvation of the world. Is there another way? And he's not saying don't question me. He's
Yeah.
saying bring it to me and I will help you through it. But that's the other thing too is you know, in my life, I feel like the Lord has been bringing me trials to help me get over. He's been like pointing out how much I like being in control or feeling like I'm in control or feeling like I'm ahead. And I feel like I've been getting quite a few trials to like kind of take that away or to help me trust without being in control. And I'm learning to be not just okay with not knowing the outcome, but for the outcome to not be what I wanted it to be.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a little bit
It's not an easy thing.
looking at that as like those are kind of different things. Like not just being like, oh well, I don't know what's gonna happen, but I trust God is figuring out I want this and I don't want this, and realizing that sometimes it has to be the thing I really don't want, but then still trusting and going to God through that.
Yeah.
And I think that's like this thing with petitions is sometimes you're gonna bring these petitions and he wanted you to bring them to him so he can answer that prayer and strengthen you. Sometimes he wants you to bring them to him and he's not going to answer them so that you can be strengthened.
Sometimes I'm gonna say stop whining.
But I love that. Like he's saying, bring it to me. It's not going to bother me. It's like, it's sometimes I think we think about God as like he's controlling everything. So it's like he doesn't have
He's
time
busy,
for me.
yeah.
Yeah, he's busy. And it's like, dude, oh my goodness. He couldn't be busy if he tried. He's just unable, like he's just powerful. He can't be busy. It can't be too much for him. And he's shown his love for you. I mean, he gave his son to die for you the worst way. He's suffering for you. Has he not shown you enough? Like if he's willing to do that, is he not willing to listen to you chat a little bit, grumble a little bit?
Yeah.
Like
I have a feeling you hear you out. Hear you out.
yeah, I mean, he literally through Job, he doesn't speak until like the very end of Job. Most of Job is just Job, being like, "Man, this sucks," and his friends being like, "You probably shouldn't trust God if you haven't done anything wrong and this is happening, man. That's terrible. What's God doing to you? He's being bad." And it's like just
There's a
grumbling,
reason though,
and
wasn't there?
he lets him grumble, and then he's like, "Hey, you weren't there. You didn't. I made the deaf, the mute, and the blind. I was there in the foundation. I'm above all these things. Okay, I am God, and you're man. You're my creation." But he then blesses Job. So his laments to the Lord aren't too much, you know. And he's telling you, he's saying, bring it to him, you know. Sometimes I feel like we might be really slow to bring our stuff to the Lord.
Yeah.
And I feel like if we are slow to bring the little things, we train ourselves to not bring the big things. So I think it is important to bring the everyday mundane things to the Lord, to bring everything to him, because then you just get in the habit of doing it. You know, if you're like, oh, I'm only gonna bring the big stuff, you're probably gonna forget to bring the big stuff.
Yeah.
By the time it gets around to it. Um,
You intend to, then you just forget, like what you're saying, yeah.
yeah, but it's not something that you
Yeah.
do, so it just kind of goes away. But I don't know. I just think um, trials only suck when we focus on ourselves instead of God. And
Well, that's a common theme with a lot of things we say. People like to make it all about them.
yeah, yeah. I was just thinking like thinking about Peter, um, and his trial is trusting the Lord in this situation where he walks on water. And it's like how awesome is it that he was walking on water? Right? But in this trial of his of faith, when he doesn't look at the Lord, he sinks. When he's focused on him, he's walking on water. That's awesome.
Yeah.
But that's scary. I mean, that is a trial. Like his faith is being tested. Do you trust me to step out onto this crazy sea? I mean, the waves of the sea is crazy. Sometimes we don't think about it. Like the Sea of Galilee, like it produced some storms, and the waves were not cool. Like this is a fierce thing. I mean,
Wasn't
they're
just a
scared
pond.
on the boat. Yeah, it's not just like little soft waves, a
Little
little
pool.
thunder in the distance. Like this is a storm.
Puddle in the desert.
But how awesome is it?
Yeah.
Like just from the outside looking at it. Sometimes in the moment we don't like to think about the bigger picture. We're just hyper fixated on ourselves instead of fixated on God.
Mm-hmm.
And when we aren't focused
Great
on
analogy
him,
for the rest of your life.
yeah, we aren't focused on him, it's really gonna suck. And he wants to use the trials to bring you closer to him, which is gonna make most trials easier and make you able to withstand bigger trials and other things. But what comes with that usually is more blessings from the Lord to you in different ways. And I'm not just saying blessings as like monetary blessings,
Gold
because
falling
there's
on
so
your
many
porch.
more important things, but could very well be.
You don't know, man.
I mean, I can trust and rely on the God who created and overcame the world.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm gonna take his word
uh,
for it.
he's in control and he runs things better than me.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, I couldn't just make a tree sprout, you know,
sure,
make some dirt, have like an atmosphere and crap.
exactly.
I couldn't do that.
Yeah. And, it's interesting to think about trials and to try to make them kind of relatable to people like, well, Paul and Silas got beaten with rods and thrown in jail. But somebody would be like, well, we don't deal with that now. Some people do.
Yeah.
I mean, there's Christians around the world right now that are getting, like, killed. I mean, they're getting slaughtered, right? Like genocide right now. Just because they have faith, just because they believe in God, you know. And then the Islam narrative is that if you aren't with us and you don't pay the tax, we're gonna kill you. So they're getting slaughtered right now. So some people, like, it's very possible you'll go through a very real trial like this, real as in it's physically hurting you, not just like this is kind of difficult to go through, you know. Um,
Could be another reason. Maybe not the largest reason, but another reason to embrace trials. You know, you never know when something big's gonna happen
yeah.
from
And I mean,
preparation.
we're promised trials.
Yeah.
So if I'm relying on the Lord, if trials make me rely on the Lord more, I'm closer to Him. He's gonna help me more. I'm gonna feel more confident because I'm trusting in Him. Those things that we're gonna deal with are gonna be not that bad.
Yeah.
I
A little
mean,
bump in the road.
it's not like they don't suck, but they don't have to tear your life apart. Like
Yeah.
I've seen a big difference in how drastic I would say things are on my life since I've come to Christ. Like how I react to things, how
Yeah.
how much things weigh on me is significantly less and continues to go um, in that direction of me being more at peace. This peace that transcends all understanding. He's given, he's given it, and he's given it liberal, like easily given it to you. He wants to give it
Say liberally.
liberally. Yeah, that's right. That's the right way
For
to say that.
easily?
Yeah,
I don't know.
like they just kind of hand it out.
I don't know. I've never heard it used
He's
that
ready
way.
to
That
hand it
doesn't
out.
mean it can't
Okay.
be, but
Well, he's ready to give it to you.
yeah,
That's the
see,
point.
he knows
I
what
might
he's
mess
talking
up.
about, so
I'm
it's
not.
important.
I'm not good with words.
Yeah. Words turned out.
But I just think I feel like we should. This conversation's cool because there does seem to be a lot going on. I mean, and there's always has been a
There
lot
is
going
and there
on.
isn't, you know, but like,
Yeah, and there's always going to be more going on. And in your life, things just pile and pile and pile. Like you're going to go through stuff.
yeah.
And if you're not able to deal with it or give it to the Lord or grow through those, it's gonna get worse and worse. So I think if we could switch our minds a little bit and look at some of these things that aren't great in the moment, but trust that God is in control and that if I rely on Him and I seek first the kingdom, that He will complete me. And sometimes that's going to be through trials.
Yeah.
It's not always,
A lot of the times.
not always, but I don't think we should look down on trials, especially.
Oh yeah, definitely not. You should almost look up to trials. I mean, again, like you're not going to seek them necessarily, like
Sure.
what we were talking about, but
Yeah.
it's like it's always an opportunity. It's where the biggest
Mhm.
changes are going to happen the
Exactly.
majority of the time.
Exactly. I mean, literally, James is saying that these trials, focusing on God through them, like that's going to make you complete and mature, not lacking anything. Which in this context is really meaning you're closer, being closer to God. So he's literally saying, go through these trials, you'll be closer to the Lord.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I mean, there's not anything more valuable than closeness with the Lord.
Mm.
So we look at
Facts.
working to get money because money is worth something.
Yeah.
Go through this trial to have treasure in heaven for eternity and not just 90 years.
Counter argument. What do you spend to get the money to work? Like, no, hold on, I phrased it wrong. You spend, okay, hear me out. You spend time,
Mm-hmm.
right, to get the money from
Mhm.
work, okay? And where does time come from? Mm-hmm. I don't know. That made sense in my head.
I don't know your point.
I don't know. I
But
kind of lost it too.
somebody might know your point. I
Someone
hope they
might.
do.
Probably not, if
You're
we're
gonna have
being
to
real.
explain that.
Nah, I'm dropping it. Anyway.
It I don't you killed me there. killed me.
Oh, it made sense the first time. Okay.
This is it's hard for me to not make fun of him
Yeah.
when he's dumb. That's a trial, okay? But I love you, and I'm not gonna make fun
It's
of you.
one of his greatest trials.
It's one of my hardest trials. But we go through them, and we're promised trials. So let's focus on the Lord and grow closer to Him, and not be not. We're not looking up. We're not looking forward to trials, but get the most out of them. You know, if I look at trials as something that as an opportunity to grow closer to the Lord, that's
what it
a
will be.
mindset that's going to change your life. It's changed mine in so many ways. When I don't use this mindset, my life is not awesome. When I use this mindset, my life is fabulous. Okay?
I was really hoping
Fabulous
you were
with
gonna
a
say
capital
awesome in that
F
same way again.
and Y.
S
I don't know why the Y, but capital Y and F.
Why?
Fabulous.
Oh,
My life is awesome.
Fabulous.
When I realize that I'm either close with the Lord and I'm getting blessed with peace in this great thing,
Does
or I'm
fabulous
going
have
through
a
a
Y
trial.
in it?
It doesn't even have a Y, does it?
I don't think it does.
So add a Y and capitalize it. Okay.
What?
I don't know.
I was thinking like, what?
Yeah.
Like,
So
I mean, I'm not a grammar guy, but like,
grammar.
it's the same
Me
thing.
neither. I'm not. I don't know when you use a comma.
You put them wherever you want.
Sure.
It's like poetry, so you just put it where you want it.
Yeah.
If it makes sense,
It's like
then you
this
can
is
do
my
it.
art.
Yeah.
Don't change it.
If it flows, it works. Like, you don't got to be proper about it.
That's why I like speaking and not writing something out. Somebody
Exactly.
reading it. It's like I'm just gonna say it. But
Speaking kind of is poetry, but we're not getting into that right now. Trials.
Yeah. Opportunities to grow closer to the Lord. We need to look at them like that. You know, we look at them as the end of the world instead of the opportunity to be more intimate with the Lord. We should look at them more like that.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like that would
Gotta look
help.
at it as a door to a new world.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Not the end of the world, but the beginning of a perfect world.
And it's got to be a door, not a window, because you can't see through it.
Facts.
Yeah.
Bars.
See, that one makes sense.
I didn't even get it, but it's okay. Yeah. So, you know, encouragement for the week: spend more time with the Lord. Get in His Word because you're gonna see these things that help your life. You know, these little nuggets of wisdom. They're all over the place. Pretty much every verse in Scripture, I'd say. So, you know, just start reading. You'll get to something.
Reading's good.
You know, and he's ready to help. He's ready to help you through this. He understands we're stupid at times. He understands we're tired and we're lazy, and you know we're not perfect. We're still in this flesh. You know, we're still in this bad world. There's a lot of things around us, and He wants to be close to you. And this can help you be close to Him. So if you want to be close with the Lord, be ready for trials and look at them as the answer to the things you're missing, not
the end of the world.
Yes,
Yep.
not the obstacles. Like
They're the stairs up to the
it's
the
the
palace.
accelerant, not the hindrance.
Yep.
So
There you go.
spend more time with the Lord, read His Word, trust Him more, and ask Him for help. Bring your petitions to Him. Don't just be.
We need a tally mark for potential, like, attempted outros.
Yeah, that's we're on 4. So
It's been at least 4.
anyways,
Anyway.
short episode, not too bad.
Same time.
Have a good week.